Hey there everybody, this is Caitlin here and welcome to a different kind of video for you today. Today was actually going to be a video for a theory, but this little bit of news recently dropped as of basically yesterday essentially. We saw this information leak while we were playing our tournament yesterday at our locals, so it seems to be that the product information and whatnot for the starter decks of the new cluster has been revealed. Now they were quite clever in that they didn't actually reveal what the name of the cluster is. They only rename it as new cluster starter deck, but it's actually kind of interesting because obviously we're heading into the new cluster and whatnot. We still don't know what it's going to be called, but we've seen quite a lot of interesting information here just from the product information. So first up here we have the kind of summary and whatnot coming with this cluster. So the story goes, long ago when the world was young, a mysterious castle appeared in the light of the full moon. Rumours quickly spread across the land that any who had ventured beyond its gates never returned. As I try to speak here, its master bade the extraordinary people of this world to meet her for a feast. Now it's kind of interesting how it says her, so the master of this castle is a girl. The king of the mountain horde, the dragonoid champion, the princess of the merfolk, and the magical prodigy, who are all the people who they invited over from opposite corners of the world, these four have assembled at the dark castle's gate. Will you join them and venture into the castle's dark depths to uncover its mysteries? Now, going into here, first up we have this picture here from essentially the wind starter deck, which is called Elemental Surge. All of the decks, by the looks of it, have one ruler, 28 resonators, I believe, yes, 28 resonators, 12 chance, 4 special magic stones, and 6 basic stones, which is very, very interesting. I'm not quite sure whether these special magic stones are going to be ruler specific or maybe color specific, because obviously since they are all the mono colors and whatnot, I am wondering whether these special magic stones tap for the one color they're meant to and they have some other added effects and whatnot. No idea, but from the looks of this, I get the feeling that perhaps the magical prodigy is this guy right here, or something relating to it, this Elemental Surge. Next up, we actually have the water starter deck, which is called Below the Waves. Obviously, this is the Princess of the Merfolk. She's looking absolutely fabulous. They do seem to be calling this, basically this first set of this new cluster, New Legend Precipice, which I'm not quite sure what that's alluding to, or maybe it's just alluding to the fact that this is a new cluster and a new story. So I guess abbreviated that would be like NLP or something like that. She is looking very fabulous. I'm loving the art style of her. She's got this kind of weird, kind of like, not a framework, but like a collar or something like that. But she does look very fabulous. I'm liking the look of Below the Waves here. Next up on this list here, I've actually got what I'm assuming to be the darkness one, because it says darkness starter deck, Children of the Night. If I was to take a solid guess, I'd say this is vampires yet again, or it could be some other creature. A lot of people have seen this artwork before, because obviously it leaked before, and a lot of people were assuming that it had something to do with Zero, because she has an owl with her that looks exactly like Zero's familiar. Although, considering that this castle is described as being a dark castle, I'm assuming that this girl is related to the castle in some way, unless she is not a main character or the ruler for this darkness starter deck. I feel like vampires are going to be making a return, and this has got something to do with the castle. Next up, we have the Light Starter deck, King of the Mountain, who is obviously the King of the Mountain Horde, who by the looks of it is a panda. And I am absolutely loving this idea. I'd love to see like different kind of races introduced and whatnot, and I'd be down for playing some pandas in my light deck. That would be an absolutely awesome idea. I mean, he's looking pretty epic there with his, I think it's a shield, and he's got a sword, and it's just looking so beautiful. That background is amazing. I am loving it. And then last but not least, we have the Fire Starter deck, which is Blood of Dragons. Now, the description actually calls this the Dragonoid Champion, which, if you're looking at the image here, it doesn't really look too much like the Dragonoids we're used to. Obviously, the Dragonoids that we've seen before they basically look human until they turn into their dragon form, essentially. But this guy is just, he's got like a dragon-like head, but like a humanish body, aside from the tail and whatnot. So I'm very curious to see whether this is like an entirely different race of dragonoids, or just a general term, because obviously we are in a new world, so we're no longer in Altia / Grimm's world and whatnot. So I'm wondering if these dragonoids are related to the ones from Grimm's world, or whether they are something else entirely. So I'm really excited for this, guys. I have many theories and whatnot, just from seeing these little glimpses alone, and I have heard that obviously Forceable are going to be making a load of like new announcements and news coverage and whatnot, so I will be trying to cover it as it comes out, guys. The set date for these starter decks coming out is actually apparently August the 18th, which seems a bit early. I don't know if this is meant to happen or not, because obviously Alice Cluster rotates out in September. So I'm not too sure whether they've set the release of this new cluster a little bit beforehand, just so people can get settled into these new cards before Alice Cluster rotates out. But this is really interesting to see, and obviously we've got kind of like a little glimpse into what kind of like characteristics, what kind of resonators that we'll be seeing. I'm really hyped for it, guys, so I hope you are excited for it too. I will have more kind of news coverage coming out as the new information comes out to you, and I'll try and keep you guys posted on anything that I see. So until next time, guys, I will see you all later.